Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review, and in this video we'll be assembling Eaglemoss's Back to the Future Delorean. This is issue number 23. We'll be assembling more engine components. So with that, let's get started. Welcome back. Let's look at the magazine for issue 23. As we open it up, the very inside cover, we have the table of contents, which is drive time, which is the assembly guide for the DeLorean. Then we have a in close-up of the engine, so they talk about the original engine before it was restored, and then a time traveler's guide. Over here is a listing of all the parts that are included with this issue. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the DeLorean Back to the Future build. USA subscribers, it's readily available. Head over there. I put a link in the description below on how you can subscribe to this. And they'll be more than happy to help you with you on your subscription. I've had nothing but awesome, outstanding customer service from Eaglemoss when it comes to that. So we'll proceed here, and we can see we actually start installing some of the accessories onto the engine, like the alternator here and some brackets. And looks like we throw the dipstick in too, and another bracket on the back side of the transmission. Then they get into an article about the engine itself, which was restored by the team Alex Abdallah, and he was part of the restoration team. If I'm able to find some images on the internet, I'll throw those in at the end of the video. And the last page, they get into the plutonium case that's included later on. So that's pretty cool. Then they give us a preview of our next parts that are coming in issue 24. So with that, let's get started. Here's the bag of parts that came with issue 23. And I'll go ahead and take these out and we'll get a closer look at them. I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of the parts. And all these parts are plastic. So the first thing we'll look at is the distributor bracket right there. We have the distributor rear cover, distributor front. We have the engine side bracket. And we have engine transmission case, left and right brackets, along with the dipstick. Then of course we got some AP screws, some AM screws, and some DM screws. So let's get this party started. To help me assemble these parts, I have this 2.5-inch bench vise, and I'm going to use that to help hold parts in place while I install the accessories and so forth. So this is a real handy tool that you can get on for your own bench to do your own. I glued on some foam here to protect the parts, and we should be good with that. Simply, it's adjustable like that, and we can secure the part down on it. Alright, step one has us installing the bracket. And this is the bracket assembly right here, and it actually simply just goes right over on the front, just like that. And we're going to be using AM screws, and remember the AM, the M means we're going to be putting the screw into metal. So I like to pre-lubricate the holes where the screws go into, and I'll use my new lubrication, which is the Vaseline lip balm, and the applicator that I use for that is this right here, and it's just simply these little micro applicators, and you can find these just about anywhere. And there we go. Just go ahead and lubricate the holes there. We'll line this up, put our first screw in, Remember, these are AM screws. It's nice to have the engine clamped to the bench vise. Gives me the third hand. And there you go, all secure. I'll move this aside. We'll go to the next step, which is to assemble the alternator. Let's go ahead and assemble the alternator, and we put the two halves together. We want to line up the holes on top together, just like that. And there's a little bit of a detent there. I can feel it. Just right there. And then we'll put our AP screw into that, going into plastic, of course. Got some resistance, and don't want to over tighten it so we don't strip it out. And there we go. Now it looks like we're going to mount this to the engine. That's the next step. We'll take the alternator here, and it looks like it goes right on the bracket, just like that. And we're going to put an AP screw into the front and the back. Once again, going directly into plastic. And the next one. And there it is. Alternator's fully mounted here. Alright, so next we install this bracket here onto the alternator, and it goes into an alignment hole on the alternator itself, which is right there, and onto the block. There's a hole in the block right there. You can see that on the side camera. And we'll take our bracket and we'll put it on the alignment pin on the alternator itself. There we go. Just like that. Next we install the dipstick onto the right side of the engine. Dipstick goes right there into that hole right there, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it in place as we do that. I'll use some super glue on this. Here's the super glue. Just put some on the tray. I'll also dip the dipstick into it. We insert it through the exhaust manifold. Just like that. And use some tweezers to put it in the hole there. A little more super glue around the edge. Perfect. The last two steps, we install these brackets onto the transmission, and make sure you have them positioned correctly, left side and right side. If you look here, you can see the opening on top. There's a beveled edge inside where it's flat on the bottom, and we'll simply line it up onto the transmission case. Just like that. And we're going to be putting in DM screws, and they're going into metal. I already pre-lubricated the holes. These are metal, as a matter of fact. They aren't plastic, so I stand corrected in the beginning when I talked about all the parts were plastic. No, these brackets here are metal. So we'll line it up. Next one goes in. That's installed. We do the same on the other side. Line up the bracket. And just get it started a little bit. Hold it in place. And there we go. And that completes issue 23. We installed all the brackets for the alternator, and that went together pretty easily. We also installed the dipstick. We had to use some glue on that, and then we installed our brackets on the back of the transmission. That was a lot of fun. Can't wait to get the next issue going. I'd like to thank everybody who subscribes to my channel and has been supporting me with this build. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot when it comes to assembling metal model kits with all the screws and everything. But you know, it's no big issue at all for me. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Eaglemoss Back to the Future DeLorean. I put a link in the description below, and if you're from the USA, subscribe now. It's readily available. The folks over at Eaglemoss will be more than happy to help you. If you're first time viewing my channel, please subscribe, hit the like. I need all the likes I can get. If I get more likes, then it gets my channel noticed out there on YouTube. So give me a like if you would, please. And then also hit the bell if you want all updates and notifications from my channel. With that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Happy modeling, everybody. Take care.